With a thermos of ashes, we squatted at sunset beneath the Big Hole's red observation deck and stared into what is often claimed to be the biggest hole excavated by hand in the world. We listened to the vibrations above us as other tourists stepped onto the deck, their bodies suspended to take their panoramic photos. We tried not to name this one. I recited the Jewish mourner's Kaddish there at the threshold, all 42 acres of its surface area, 1,519 feet of its width, all 22,500,000 tons of excavated, missing earth, and Louisa's contribution was the final amen. Her syllables echoed downward through the shaft, from basalt to melophyre, to quartzite, to quartz porphyry, to the Vaal River conglomerate, to deeply impacted and ancient granite gneiss. We watched the burnt bridal valeness of the scattering, the arching of this tiny atomized body, all 790 feet down to the floor of this abyss that once revealed to us the stories of rocks and the burden of 6,000 pounds of diamonds. In order to contextualize my grief, however inadequately, but essentially, I became obsessed with the history of the Big Hole, which was, after all, the actual context and physical space into which we decided to embed the ashes of our final miscarriage, and, in turn, this phase in our lives. I desperately wanted to know what the Big Hole, and all of the other stories it contained, could tell us about the parameters of our own, to find out, in part, what our grief was made of. In order to foster this conversation between our lives and this larger history, I began to consider diamonds and the industry they birthed. Pretty soon, I found pigeons. Like many who carry a childish sort of curiosity into adulthood, I am attracted to forbidden places. I trespass. When I heard that a portion of South Africa's west coast was owned by the De Beers conglomerate and had been officially closed off to the public for the better part of 80 years, the heyday of diamond exploration and mining in the area, plunging the local communities into a mysterious isolation, I became infatuated with the idea of visiting the place. During this heyday, everyone in Die Sperrgebiet, the Forbidden Zone, as it was called, labored for De Beers. No one was allowed to leave the area. De Beers kept the residents distracted with trucked-in luxuries and social programs. Fully furnished and well-stocked houses were provided. Sundries were provided and regularly replaced. De Beers set up their own school system for the children and provided various entertainments and recreational clubs. De Beers even had a shadowy agreement with satellite companies to redact images of the Forbidden Zone from their recorded files. It was, officially, an erasure from the earth. Terra incognita meets planned community. Heavily armed security forces guarded, and still guard, its borders. Beginning in 2007, De Beers deemed portions of this land overmined, and as they began to withdraw their interests in the ensuing years, the doors to some of these towns slowly began opening to the public for the first time. Though De Beers still controls the area, and though signs threatening trespassers with imprisonment and or death still proliferate roadside, restricted public entry is now possible. I badly wanted to listen to the stories of those who live there. Eventually, I navigated the hoops necessary for a visit, replete with the sending of various copies of my passport and other identifying documents in advance, and subsequent background checks. My journey brought me to the mining towns of Alexander Bay, Port Nolloth, and Kleinsee on South Africa's notorious Diamond Coast. Once there on the ground, the story that began...